Hi, it's Amelia again from Physio Health, and I'm continuing on my journey to run 10k under 50 minutes. I'm joined again by my personal trainer Greg Porter from Krunchies Health and Fitness. So Greg, it's coming up to race day.
Exciting times.
I know, I'm getting a little bit nervous.
No, you'll be fine.
Have you got any tips for me for race day?
Yep, loads of tips. Most importantly, I guess, is you've done all the hard work. So now it's to get to race day as fresh as you can and enjoy it. You're going to smash your goal time, so I have no doubt about that. But now it's just about being smarter in that race day lead up, the week leading up to it, and on race day. So a couple of key things to remember is be prepared. Yeah, have a little checklist that you can prepare, 2 weeks out. As silly as it sounds, runners, get your clothing sorted. Don't try anything on race day that you haven't tried out throughout training.
So it's not a good idea to wear my new outfit that I haven't worn before?
No, definitely don't do that. You see it at every fun run, people with rashes under their arm from new t-shirts and all sorts of things. You see people running it with brand new running tops that have left their tags on, all that sort of thing. So don't get caught up in that. Practice in the clothes that you're going to run in on the day, and you can't go wrong.
Okay. What about my warm-up on the day? What should I do pre-race when I get to the
Yes, so the warm-ups that we go through at all our speed and quality sets, that dynamic warm-up, try and get that in, go through some run-throughs, once again to get those neuro patterns firing, so when we hit that and that gun goes off, we're ready to race quite fast. And be aware that you could be standing around in the cold. Depending on the conditions on the day, Melbourne could produce anything. You might be at the start line for 10, 15, 20 minutes even. So you might be quite restricted in the area that you've got warmed up. So get away from the race start, go do your run-throughs, and at least get that out of the way before you get to the start line.
When you say run-throughs, what sort of distance am I looking at for a run-through?
Oh, anything, say up to about 60, 70 metres, I think is pretty good. So near the start of your race, you will have that area to go to.
And am I going for pace on these run-throughs, or is it just feeling comfortable and turning the legs over?
Yeah, once again, that slow build, so start about 50, 60% and add your 5% sort of increments and that. So once again, we want to get to that race start line warmed up, the body temperature risen, the body quite mobile. So we'll also include some mobility drills for you that we also do at Krunchies, just to getting the body to limber up before we go. Because, as I said, we could be at the start line for 10, 15 minutes, so the core body temperature might have cooled down a little bit, and when that gun goes off, it gets pretty hectic, so we want you as warmed up as possible.
Okay. And what about nutrition? That's something that always confuses me. What's the best thing for me to eat?
Yeah, and I guess as we've discovered over the past few weeks, nutrition, you've had some ups and downs in our training sessions with some GI problems. So for you, we need to really hone that in over the next few weeks and train with some food at all sessions and do a bit of experimenting and recording, see what works, what doesn't work. It's not only food, but it's also hydration, so we need to practice that. The night before, I'd say we don't need to carb load for a 10k race, so keep the food pretty much the same as normal, as you would in any other time of the week. I'd say keep it quite plain food, no meat, takes too long to digest, and probably limit your fibre intake so you don't have to stop at one of the portaloos along the race course.
Okay. And is there something that I should have just prior to the race? Like normally I would have a banana before I run, but sometimes that will upset my stomach. Yeah,
I'd say there's that 2-hour window. The 10k run is it's still quite early in the morning, but you probably get up around the 5:30, have that banana or something else, some light toast if you can stomach the bread as well, and I'd probably leave that 2-hour window. If someone takes gels, I don't know if you've had gels in the past, but I'd leave it up to about 5-10 minutes before the race, and you can also have a gel too, just so it's not sitting in the stomach, still digesting, so it's not taking away energy to digest that food. So.
And what about after the race? What's the best thing for me to have after the race? Obviously I need lots of water.
Yeah.
What about, should I have sports drinks?
Yeah, look, it depends on personal take. I don't mind a sports drink just to replenish those lost electrolytes. Also, it depends on the weather too. But what we might do, experiment over the coming weeks with weighing you at the start of sessions and weighing you at the end, just to check on fluid loss, and then we'll get a pretty good indication of hydration that we can take before, during and after the race. So always protein's pretty good come any type of these post activities.
Sounds good. Alright, not long to go. Thank you. Hi, it's Amelia from Physio Health again, and I'm joined by Greg Porter from Krunchies Health and Fitness. And today we're going to be talking about race day and my race plan. So Greg, 10k under 50 minutes, what's the best way for me to go about it?
So basically we've got the physical sides of things. We know we can break it down to run 5-minute Ks, and that will get you your goal time, but it doesn't always work that way come race day. We know that there's going to be a big crowd on race day, and it's often quite difficult to start races. So we want to turn up on race day with a bit of a plan in place. And that's something that we need to rehearse over that final week of race week, just so you can rock up on race day knowing that you're comfortable in the plan that's going to come off.
So I'm someone that normally gets very nervous, and I tend to, especially in the first section of the race where it's quite crowded, my race plan often will just go out the window and I tend to just go with the crowd. What can I do to try and settle the nerves?
Yeah, so as I said, there's going to be thousands of people there in our race warm-ups. So when we're doing our dynamic run-throughs and stretches and mobility work, I want you also to take a couple of minutes out just to really focus on, get the old grey matter, thinking about what's about to happen. So some people find visualisation really effective. So you're not going to be able to find a really quiet spot, do type yoga stuff, but just to really focus on what's about to happen. Think, almost start visualising that gun's going to go off, there's going to be a big surge at the start. What are you going to do? Are you going to get sucked out the back, or are you going to really pick up the pace at the front? And I think picking up the pace to start with is not a bad idea. We've got to be a bit cautious of heart rates and not go out too hard and try and be with the front pack. We need to be a little bit conservative and a little bit smart. So push out quite hard, knowing that surge at the start of the race might only last 300, 400, 500 metres up to 800 metres. So just be prepared for that, and we can write that into your plan.
Okay. So once I get into that sort of 3-4k mark, what should I be focusing on? Is it just trying to stay relaxed and quite fluid through my running, or should I do some surges?
No, so what we want to do is stay as relaxed as we can for the whole race. We call it running fast relaxed. A good way to do is break down the race. It's not a 10k race, it's 10 1k efforts. So there will be markers out on race day, so you can focus on them. If you're running in your Garmin watch, you can keep pace. We can set up the virtual timer, so we know if you're running too fast or too slow. So the watch is also a good indication too, so we don't go out too hard.
Okay, terrific. All right, thanks for your help, Greg.
That's all right.
And we'll catch up with you after the race.
Definitely. See you then. Good luck race day.